Hello friends, my name is Jess and welcome back to my channel, Books Past Bedtime. In today's video, we're going to be doing the Mid-Year Freakout Book Tag. I've been doing this tag every single year since I started my channel. This is either my 5th or my 6th time doing this, which is crazy. It's gotta be my 6th. I've been doing YouTube since 2019, so that's crazy. Actually, no. It'll be my 5th because I started at the end of 2019. 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024, 2020. No, it is my 6th. That's crazy. Actually insane. So if you don't know what this tag is, it was created probably 10 years ago. I don't even know by who anymore. If I do, I will put it in the description, or if I find it, I'll put it in the description. And it's basically just a way to wrap up and review your reading year so far. And it's a list of 15 questions, and it talks a lot about your favorite books, what you've read, what you've yet to read, those kinds of things. And so without further ado, let's go ahead and hop into the tag. So the first question is, what is the best book that you've read so far in 2025? And honestly, I have to give that to You Should Be So Lucky by Cat Sebastian. This is a historical MLM romance set in the 1960s in New York, and it's following a baseball player and the reporter that is assigned to create kind of like a diary newspaper article story over the summer for this baseball player. So our baseball player's name is Eddie O'Leary, and Eddie is having a rough year. He was transferred to this team that's not very good right after his rookie year that was really good, and now he's in a bit of a batting slump and he's got a bit of a bad media image. And so Mark has been assigned to write this diary for him to kind of get into the meat of the story behind why he's having this batting slump, who he is as a person, and it's kind of supposed to be a bit of a fluff piece to kind of like boost what's going on. And also Mark has really been struggling because he lost his longtime partner. This is kind of a way to get him out of this slump that he's in and get him out and doing something. And Mark and Eddie have this instant attraction, instant connection, and they end up spending more time together as Mark is writing this story and this piece. And so he and Eddie end up getting closer, becoming friends, and having this romance. But this is such a hard time to be in love with another man. Like, illegal, they have to stay hidden, especially with the career that Eddie has. Like, it's very difficult. And Mark also kind of feels like he doesn't want that pressure and that responsibility of being in the closet and being hidden, especially because Mark himself isn't really in the closet, and so he's so worried about how Eddie's relationship to him will make Eddie look, and all of these things. There's so many moving pieces and so many moving parts, but this is really a story about two people who were meant to be together and are perfect for one another, finding each other, coming together, and figuring out how to make it work for both of them. And it's really just a beautifully written story. Like, there's so much wisdom in this story too about life and love and relationships. The way that Cat Sebastian puts words together is just so beautiful and incredible, and I literally have no words. This is definitely by far my favorite book of the year. Easy. Like, I am obsessed with this book. It was so good. So good. Question number 2 in the tag is, what is the best sequel that you've read so far in 2025? And to be honest, I have not read a ton of sequels. Like, if you look at my spreadsheet of all the series that I've read, it's just like one, like one book from each series, like starting all these random series. To be fair to me, most of them are companion series from Kindle Unlimited. Like, it's not serious, but obviously I haven't read a lot of sequels. I do think that the best one I've read is probably gonna have to be The Sin Eater by Only James, which is the second book in the Watch series. This book, we're following Peyton and Boone. Peyton, most psycho of the psychopaths at the school for psychopaths, and Boone is the headmaster. End up getting together over the course of this like action-packed book of somebody from the outside is trying to sow discord within the school by creating these AI videos and releasing them like Gossip Girl style to make the student body turn against each other. And they're trying to get all of this like secret information for nefarious purposes, and they're trying to kill people, and like all this like crazy plot stuff is going on behind the romance between Boone and Peyton. And it's really hot and really cute, and I really enjoyed this one a lot. I ended up giving this one like 4.5 stars. It definitely was a good sequel. I definitely am really enjoying this series. I do love me some Only James every once in a while, and because I haven't read a ton of sequels this year, this is probably my favorite. I do have to get on reading more sequels though. I am hoping to film a new like finishing series reading vlog over the next month or two, so hopefully I'll have a better answer for this by the end of the year. But not that The Sin Eater is bad, but it's just not. You know, okay, moving on. So question number 3 is a new release that you haven't read yet that you would like to. And so this is a book that's already come out in 2025, but I haven't gotten to. And I think the one I'm probably most excited for is When the Tides Held the Moon by Vanessa Vita Kelly. This is a story about this young boy who works at this like circus carnival in Coney Island in early 1900s New York. They end up getting this new exhibit who is a merman or I don't know if they're a merman or if they're non-binary. This mythical creature, basically. Our main character Benny becomes conflicted because he has this found family in this circus carnival, but then he's falling in love with Rio, the merman. This Rio is being kept in captivity. Like, what are the ethics and morals of this, and what's better, like love or family? And this is all going on. And I've heard nothing but good things about this book. People have just been raving about this book, and I think it sounds so beautiful and right up my alley and something that I will absolutely love. And I've followed Vanessa on Instagram for a long time because they do a lot of the art for a lot of the queer books that I read and a lot of the like covers and inside pages, and so the art in this book is just gorgeous. This is just like a gorgeous book, and there's art throughout the story as well, like little drawings throughout. This back flap freaking gorgeous, and this is just a beautiful, lovely book, and I'm so excited to read this. I'm so excited, and I want to read it really soon. I'm probably going to do a reading vlog this month reading this book, so I'm very excited. All right, and now the next question is your most anticipated 2025 release for the second half of the year. There's two books that I'm most looking forward to, I would say. The first of which is Every Step She Takes by Alison Cochrane. This book comes out on September 2nd and is a contemporary sapphic romance. I love Alison Cochrane. She's one of my favorite authors of all time. Every book I've ever read by her has been 5 stars, so I'm very excited for a new one. And then I'm also super excited for Isle in the Silver Sea by Tasha Suri. Tasha Suri has quickly become one of my new favorite authors. The Jasmine Throne was just so incredible that I need to read everything she's ever written, and this is a new sapphic romantasy from her coming out in October, so I'm super, super excited about this book as well. The next question is your biggest disappointment for 2025, and unfortunately I do think I'm gonna have to give that to Dream On Ramona Riley by Ashley Herring Blake, which is so sad because I was so looking forward to this book, but that's why it was so disappointing. I was so highly anticipating a new sapphic contemporary romance by Ashley Herring Blake, and this book was just not it for me. I ended up giving it kind of a generous 2.5 stars. I did not have fun with this one. It really drugged for me. I thought it took so long. It's following Dylan and Ramona, and Dylan and Ramona had a bit of a history. They were each other's first kiss, I think, but they lost touch, and then they are coming back into each other's lives because Ramona is a waitress in a small town, and Dylan is the movie star in this movie that's filming in this small town, and her and Ramona run into each other again, and they have a bit of a romance, and then it becomes, how can we connect our two so different worlds? And Ramona also has these dreams of like being a costume designer for Hollywood, and is she just using Dylan? And there were so many like ridiculous miscommunication-y sort of tropes and situations in this book that got so frustrating to read about, and I really thought the romance between Ramona and Dylan was very lackluster. This book also was kind of promoted as being kinky, and it very much was not kinky, and the kink that was in it seemed to be just in it to spice up the sex scene and not to actually be from what I've read and understand about kink, it typically is pretty fundamental to a person's character, and it was not fundamental to these characters' character. Didn't make sense for them at all, especially like how abruptly it appeared, and I really was bothered by that representation. I thought it was actually actively bad, so I did not enjoy that about this book, and so this ended up unfortunately being very disappointing for me, and I'm so sad about it. This isn't even I didn't even buy a copy because I didn't like it. This is my roommate's copy. On the other hand, probably my biggest surprise of 2025 was Hurt Me Daddy by Misha Horn. Now, I don't typically like read books I think I'm not gonna like, and I had seen this one floating around, and I'm not really a stranger to the daddy king trope. Like, I like it and I read it fairly often. But this book I was really unsure about because the characters are in high school. They're both 18, but they're in high school, and I was like, I don't understand how this is gonna work. Like, it sounds kind of weird to me. I don't know how I feel about it. Even though people like recommended it and said it was good, I was very hesitant to pick it up for that reason, but I kind of like ran out of things to read and I wanted something with that trope, so I was like, let me just give it a try. Like, so many people say it's so good, like maybe it is. I was also kind of put off by the length of it. It was pretty long, 450 pages or something, and it's a duet, which I typically like standalones, you know, or like companion series books. I don't like a long series following the same couple. So there was a lot about this book that I was like, this is not something that I would typically like. But I decided I'm just gonna give this a shot, and I'm so glad I did because this is one of my favorite books of the year. I really fucking loved this book. This book follows these two characters who have been through a lot of trauma. They end up getting in this situation where one is tutoring the other because they need to pass chemistry, I think, to keep their football scholarship for college, and they really need to get out of town, all this stuff. And they end up finding out that they are just perfect for each other. And I think also, if you don't understand the daddy kink, like, Misha Horn will make you explain it. Like, if you read this book and you don't like it, it's probably just not for you, like, it's just icky to you, which is, you know, fair. It made so much sense for these two characters, which is just so crazy because they're both 18. Like, and is it realistic? Maybe not, but in this book, it made so much sense for these characters and just fit them so perfectly and was just so well done and so well written. I don't know. I loved this book. It made me feel so many things. I just thought it was so good. So, so good. And literally the last half of this book, the last half of this 450-page book is one single sex scene. It's fucking crazy. Fucking crazy. I loved it. It's so good. It's really so good. And going right off that, the next question is your newest favorite author, and I do think my newest favorite author is probably Misha Horn. I definitely have read the most from them this year out of anyone. I've read 5 books from them, and all of those books have been 4 stars or higher, which is so interesting because the very first Misha Horn book I ever read, I DNF'd, and I don't think I would go back to that one because I do think that that one was not for me. All of their other books have been for me, and I have loved them. I have loved them, and so they're definitely a new favorite author. I will say that with these two, I do think Kat Sebastian has solidified herself as a new favorite author for me. I've read her a bit in the past. These 2 books were 5-star favorites, and so I do think that I will from now on pick up anything she ever writes because I'm obsessed. Before this year, I probably wouldn't have considered her a favorite author, but I do consider her a favorite author now. The next question is your newest fictional crush, and I do think that I'm going to give that to James Harding from A Gentleman's Gentleman by T.J. Alexander. That man, I love that man. He's just incredible. This is such a good book. This is a Regency romance between 2 trans main characters, and it's just so beautiful that these 2 people like found each other in this time when it's like very taboo to be who they are, and just found this innate friendship, romance, somebody they can trust, somebody they can be themselves with. It was so beautiful and lovely, and I loved it so much. And it was also really fucking funny. It's a very humorous, very funny book, and I really enjoyed that about it as well. Not to mention it was just an incredible romance, you know. So loved this book, and I loved James Harding. He's like tall, dark, and handsome, you know, and just so sweet and so caring and so like brooding and serious. I don't know, my type of man. I loved him so much. Alright, and the next question is a little bit different, and who's favorite character? I think that I have to give that to both Laurent and Damon from Captive Prince by C.S. Pacat. I just could not stop thinking about these two after I read this book. I cannot stop thinking about them. They're in my head constantly. Constantly, I'm thinking about them. And so I feel like that means they're my favorite characters. This is such an interesting book. Like, it's taking me so long to read this one. I am doing a reading vlog reading this series, so I don't want to say too much, but I can't stop thinking about this book. It's just constantly in my mind, in my head. And I loved both of these characters. They're just so fascinating. There's so much like depth and nuance to them, and I can't wait to continue this series. I can't wait. It's so good. All right, the next question is a book that made you cry. I definitely don't cry as much as I used to. I think my emotions are more balanced because I am medicated and go to therapy regularly. When I first did this tag, I would be like, 100 books made me cry. I'm a little bit more even keel these days. But I do have a stack of books that did make me cry, but only like 5. So I think the first book to make me cry this year was probably Hazel Blind the Deep Blue Sea by Ashley Herring Blake. A adorable sapphic, well, it's not really sapphic, it's like a queer middle grade about grief. It was beautiful and lovely. Definitely made me cry. These 2 made me cry. We Could Be So Good and You Should Be So Lucky by Kat Sebastian. Both MLM historical romances, both made me cry a little bit. The Stars and the Blackness Between Them by Renata Petrus definitely made me cry as well. This is a sapphic, contemporary, kind of coming of age kind of romance. A little bit of magical realism actually. Really good though, and definitely made me cry. Made me cry. This one might have made me cry the hardest. And then also, I don't have it with me, but Light from Uncommon Stars by Rika Aoki also made me cry. This is a queer sci-fi that's following a bunch of different characters. It's kind of about found family. It's kind of about music. It's kind of about being yourself. It's about so many things. And it was so good and so incredible and so beautifully written, and it definitely made me tear up a bit. And all of those books I loved, so would recommend every single one. All good tears, all crying in a good way. On the flip side of things, the next question on the tag is a book that made you happy, and I think of all of the books that I've read this year, the books that have made me the happiest are the ones that I reread. Around inauguration time this year, I decided to reread The Soul Eater, Moth, Seraph, all by Lily Mayne this year, and they really just made me so happy. I think they probably maybe were the only things that could have possibly made me happy around that time. So I'm really glad that I read them. They're so good. If you didn't know, they're all three in this series. It's called Monstrous series, and they all are set in this post-apocalyptic US where monsters have come over from a different realm and they're roaming the earth, and humans like live on the edges of the country, like by the water, in these like militarized cities. Some people like live in the middle in these raider camps. Every book in this series follows a different romance between a monster and a human man, and they're all really cute. Moth is my favorite of all time. Moth's one of my favorite books, like period, of all time, and so that was the first one that I picked up around inauguration time, and nothing could make me happier than being with Moth and Charlie, honestly, so I'm glad that I did that for myself and my mental health. Question number 12 is my favorite book to movie adaptation I've seen this year, and to be honest with you, I don't think I've seen a single one. Like, I really don't. I can't think of anything that I have watched that's a book to movie adaptation. Nothing. Can't think of anything. I really don't watch much TV or many movies. I think the only thing I've watched this year have been YouTube, the new seasons of Drag Race, and the new season of Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. I do like reality TV and watch that every once in a while, but that's all I've seen. I don't think I've watched anything else, so if there's something I've missed, let me know. Let me know what book to movie or book to TV adaptations I need to watch, because I don't have any on my list at all. The next question is your favorite like piece of content you've made so far this year as a bookish creator, and I would have to say that I think I'm most proud of my TBR Takedown series that I started this year, where I have been unwrapping my TBR books 5 at a time, reading them, and sharing with you guys what I think of them, and if I'm going to keep them or unhaul them. And I'm really just proud of how those videos have turned out. I really appreciate that you guys have been liking them as well and think they're fun, and it's really just been so helpful at reading down my own to TBR. I've been doing such a good job at it. I'm so proud of myself. I've definitely been reading more than I've been bringing in, which is so great and so fabulous. So I have been really enjoying that, and I'm really proud of those videos. The next question is the most beautiful book you've bought this year, and I will say that I have bought special editions of the Green Creek series by TJ Klune. I bought special editions of the Foxhole Court series by Nora Sakovic, and I've bought some really pretty special editions of Emma and Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen, but I haven't hauled them yet. They're going to be on a book haul coming up this month or next month, so I don't want to spoil that, so you're gonna have to wait to see those. Sorry. Otherwise, I think When the Tides Held the Moon, which we've already talked about and I've already showed you, is another of the most beautiful books that I've purchased. It's so incredible. Honestly, so beautiful. All right, and the last question on this tag is what books do you really need to read by the end of the year? And I have so many books. There's not like one particular book that I need to read by the end of the year, but I do really want to focus on reading down the books that I talked about in my 2025 5-star predictions video. There are 25 books on that list, and I've only read 5 so far, so I would really like to focus on that a bit more. And I also would like to focus on my most anticipated 2025 releases video. That list, there's also 25 books on that list. I've only read 3. To be fair, some of them haven't come out yet, but honestly most of them have. I need to get on that as well. So check those out if you want to know what I'm going to be reading for the rest of the year, because I need to read the books on those lists. Alright, and that was the Mid-Year Freakout tag. I really appreciate you watching this video and being here. It was so fun. I love kind of reflecting on my year in this way, and let me know if you guys have made these videos too. I would love to watch them from you, so let me know in the comments if you have made a version of this. They're so fun. Would love to check it out. Also, subscribe to my channel if you're not already. Like this video if you liked it, and also turn on the bell notification to know when I post any new videos. You can also follow me on all social media. Those links are in the description, and I think that is everything from me today. So thank you so much for being here and for watching this video. I really appreciate it, and I will see you in the next one real soon. Bye.